once more. So I'll start. DSS navigation starts with the monitoring center. Then we have two menus of navigation. We have on the far left the applications and then the configurations menu. Now with these menus, the configuration means you'll access the different configurations, but the main applications means you're going to utilize these different applications. Maybe this is for the user now. Let's say you have a customer who's going to access DSS. You give them this interface, you leave the configuration so that you handle that under the maintenance. That is for your business application. But now on the configuration, I talked about the device menu under basic configuration. For the device menu, we said you can create an organization. You can add a sub-organization up to 100 levels. You can click add to add the device manually. You can also select multiple devices, then click add to device list, which will give you an option to select where on the organization. Then you key in the device password. Of course, if you're selecting multiple, it means you have to select, also input multiple, the correct password for all of them. If they don't have the same, you'll have to repeat. Then once that is done, the device is now online. You can manually just click this icon. For example, you have a camera added to an NVR. You may want to update that NVR's configuration. Then you just click get info. You can get all info or only newly added channels. That is if, for example, today a customer starts with 3 cameras and then later on they add 2 more cameras to the NVR, then we can use get info to get all the information of the newly added channels. So that's one key point. Actually, it's a new feature added on DSS 8.7. But again, if you select, for example, this device, you'll be able to see all the information. You can even change the device name. So based on how the customer has named it, you can always modify. The device serial number is automatically pulled. The time is automatically pulled. Then we have video channel. So I have, like, in this case, I've automatically pulled 2 channels. You can also delete some channels. For example, if it's a blank channel, no camera, then you can delete it to save on the licenses. So at some point you may find, let's say it's an 8-channel NVR with 4 cameras, then you can select 1 to 4 and then delete 5, 6, 7, 8. That in that case. Then there's other things like audio and light channel. That is, if it has the TIOC functions, then you can get the audio and light function and even name them. I'll show you where to use. Then if it has alarm inputs, they will also be received. If it has alarm output interface, it will also be received. And then now once you have updated all that information, you click OK. By default, DSS would refresh, but it's always recommended to check because most of the time it doesn't. So it's recommended to do that. So after we add this, I want to look at this menu on the far left. Let me expand it. We have add device and device config. And I just want to break down device config once more. So we have device config. Then we have, let's select this specific device that we added. The SDT, you'll see, you can see the video channel for every, like this one has 2 channels, the fixed channel lens and the PTZ lens. Exit this program first. Okay, so then we have the alarm channel. So you can configure for every channel individually, like event information, you can configure the alarm. Center recording plan, that means recording on DSS. That is, you have configured your DSS storage, so you record here. Then you have the device recording plan, where you can add a recording plan for this specific NVR or camera directly to it. So if I do this, for example, if it's a camera, it means I'm setting a rule for recording on the SD card or the hard disk of the NVR. Then we have recording retrieval, which I will also show you from another menu. Recording retrieval means at specific hours of the day, you're able to pull recordings. You can set like from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. download recordings, during the day only viewing. If the network situation is not that good, then understand that the bandwidth that would retrieve is not as good, then you have to merge. But again, look at this, a central recording storage config. So general video and alarm video. So the comparison is, if I set general video retention on to 30 days, it means after 30 days it will overwrite. So you can limit. Here is where you limit. For instance, if you are offering a backup service, here is where you can now do the controls for the specific channels that you would want to do. Then we have bind video channel, that is mapping maybe a camera to another. Bind audio channel, maybe linking a camera view to an audio channel. Then we have multicast, so that it can also broadcast to other addresses, but this is not usually substantial per se, or in our application is not really directly relevant. So we are going to also try this out, but let's go back to add device. So I've explained. So in case you have errors, devices with issues, you'll find it under list alarm abnormally added devices. But with our focus on this device specifically, we're going back home, then I come to configuration, and then I come to storage. So after adding a device to DSS, you need to schedule storage. Of course, it's recommended to record on motion, but I'm going to show you. So when I select storage plan, we have two menus, the recording plan and the recording retrieval. So when you select recording plan, and then we select specifically for this department, will not find anything. So let's create a recording plan. So I can set add recording plan. By default, you can choose to record either the mainstream, the substream. Remember, if you select substream 1, you must have enabled that substream from the camera. If you select substream 2, the same thing. Then we go to the recording time. If you want to record weekdays, so generally by default DSS has all period, so it means every time. But if I can also modify this, create my own recording template, then now come to the department that I've created for this, and then select recording. So in this case, I've selected both channels to record, and then make sure you enable the plan. By default it's on, so you can enable recording. So if, for instance, you're offering a backup service and this person has not paid, you can simply disable recording until they subscribe again. That's an option, but we'll also discuss that maybe later on when you think about doing integrations with DSS. Then we have motion detection recording. The same thing, if I select this organization, I have to add a motion detection. Then I select the specific camera for this department, and then confirm to enable and okay. That is how you schedule recording. So the client can opt for these two options. So for business side, for thinking about the business solution, general recording will consume more bandwidth because it has higher storage demands compared to motion recording. So this can also be an option when you're designing maybe a billing system for the storage option. Then we have here recording retrieval. We have video retrieval and file retrieval. I'll just like to highlight file retrieval mainly is for the body cameras, and what that means is you can set the moment you plug the body camera into DSS, it automatically downloads the files captured, like the images, the number plate captures and all that. But now our focus is on video retrieval. I select this. We can create a retrieval plan. So I can simply select this, select Swift. So these two cameras I select. Then remember, we need to configure backup storage for retrieval. So I can video stored on the current day will be retrieved. So I want to retrieve from yesterday. I want to retrieve 2 days before. So you can set like I want to retrieve 7 days before. So it will keep updating over time. But remember, for video retrieval to work also, the network situation has to be good on both ends, both the sending and the receiving side. Then you can switch. If I use the mainstream, remember the bandwidth requirement is so high. I have the substream, and then I have substream 2. So also understand the substream, the video quality is lower, but the storage requirement is relatively lower, also the bandwidth requirement. Then if I want to retrieve only maybe between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m., then I can delete all these parts. It's a simple eraser that you just drag along the plan, or you can manually just type in the times you want. So I have midnight to 6, then 6 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. Then it will still give you the same result. Then I select OK. So this is this now I have a retrieval plan, which means for retrieval plan to work, number one, the camera must be recording on its own local storage. If there is no recording, it will not retrieve anything. Number two, when this time to retrieve gets, like it's now 6 p.m., that camera has to be connected. So some users will even switch off internet until maybe a specific time when they need to connect again. So we can do that. So that is a quick configuration of storage on DSS. Then I want you to note, if I go back to device, go back to this camera, device config, you will find all the plans we just configured are also highlighted for every. So it makes it easy to even troubleshoot for this specific channel. So for example, recording storage modify, I can set it to retain general alarm video for how many days. It can retain up to 1 year. So if it's 60 days, the customer can do that level, and then you enable the retrieval, and it will give you now that specific. So if it's alarm, you can set these rules. Then now, after this, after discussing the video storage and retrieval, let's now look at. Hello? It's okay. I'm recording, so I can share the recording, and then we can also discuss after I go through this. Okay. So I've just highlighted the different points. Maybe I'll just quickly point them out once more. I talked about the device. You select the channel, and then you can do individual configuration. Then we have this, so you can configure the start and end for video retrieval. Recording, you can set the general recording. So if I want to change, let's say, this recording time, I just select modify. I come here and modify the retention period for general video, for alarm, for motion detection recording. So maybe it's only 90 days. I save, and then that is it. So automatically it will enable the recording and then add it to the list. I can set device recording. So if I want to do video retrieval, of course I have to set device recording, which means the end device has a recording. I can just directly add from here. I set record throughout all period and then enable it. Now it means on the camera level, on the NVR level, it will be recording. Now I can do the video retrieval. Without the device recording plan, we cannot do video retrieval. So you have to note that part. Then from the storage plan, I had mentioned we have two plans, the recording plan and the recording retrieval, general and motion, then video retrieval. So we can configure each of these. The steps to configure each is more or less typical, but retrieval is to download the videos at specific hours. You can also set it to retrieve 24/7. That's also okay. I can just go to this and set it to retrieve throughout. That's also an option. So based on the network and customer requirement, you can always set this. Now after setting all this, let's go to the specific camera. For instance, we go to the monitoring center. So I'll select the monitoring center. I select specifically this specific department and pull the video previews. I can pull the video previews like this. So now with this level of monitoring, I have live view and playback. So the customer can opt for this option where they can live view the camera or playback. So if I select playback, it will still show me the same camera, but now I'm able to check on my timeline here what time do I want to play back. So if I select this, I'm playing back this one channel. Then I can select this option here, which is sync. So sync, when I select sync, it automatically balances the playback time. So it's 1519, 1519 also for the second camera. So that is another thing you will do. Then let's say this is my video of interest. From maybe this 1 minute, I can just select here, download. Then it will show me the channel to search, and then I can find if there is any recording. Then I click start and end time. Of course, when you do that, you have to enable this level of encryption so that the admin has to log in, or the current user, and then encrypt the file. So when I select this, it means I'm protecting the exported video with a password. So I can do this. Even transcode. Transcode means you change the video format. So I have AVI, MP4, and ASF. So standard, most people prefer to use MP4. So I'll select that and then select the storage path. Then I can now do download. Then automatically it will automatically download the video into that specific folder. Then you can extract and play back. If you don't want the video to be encrypted, there is a setting I'll show you where you can disable the protected encryption. But as per the international standards, it's actually recommended to export when it's encrypted. I also have this option where I can just directly cut. For example, it's this channel. I will check the footage from here to here. Then I select cut. I select the start and end time. Still I have to do this, so I encrypt the video that I'm exporting. Again, repeat the password that I will use to extract the video, and then select the format. So once I select the format, I click OK, and then it downloads. So the moment it takes me the download center, I have downloading, to be downloaded, and downloaded. So already I have 2 files. If I go to files, I can extract and play back. Of course, if you not, when it exports as a zip file. So based on the implementation, you can always do this from the monitoring center. You can also directly go to the download center, and then download center is found here. So you can directly go to the download center, which will take you. You can also just select many cameras and click search. Of course, you must select start and end time. Then it will show you the available videos. Then you can select maybe, let's say, this channel and this channel, and then you can continue to export. You can also list the files and then just manually direct. So those are options based on the video stored, because as much as we have the management tool, they are still stored as files which can be accessed and downloaded. So I can just directly select this and then encrypt and download. Now, someone would ask, why do I have to keep entering the password to download and encrypt the file? So you'll come here to the settings, and then you come to the system parameters. We usually have security configuration. Then under security, we have file security policies. So file export or download password authentication. That means the system administrator or the current logged in user has to key in their password so that they can download the videos. Then file export or download encryption. If I disable this, it means I'll export a video without the password protection. So you can enable and disable this function as you please. Then I want to show you something else. So when you add the device, you can have maybe a sense of location for that. So we can come to map. By default, we have the vector map, that is Google Maps, both offline and online. So if I click here, edit, you can enter. For online map, you enter the map link. For offline map, you'll upload, import the map. So in this case, I'll use the online Google Map. I key in the default central latitude and then save. OK. So once that is saved, I just click on this view here. Then it will load my map. Why I'm doing this is I want to show you how you can still add your your camera to the same map. So you see, like in this case, I have the camera on this map, so I'll just select any street, like let's say in this junction. Then I can select the device that we just added. I select this preview here, drag and add to the map. And what this will do is, on that map, I can also add the alarm channel if there's any output that's expected for the alarm. Then once this is done, it saves automatic, so you can have that. Then to preview this, when I'm in the monitoring center, we have this option here, which is the map. So when I select this map, I'll see the different cameras. So based on location, I can always access my cameras. So they are here. Also on the same map, we have this. You can select show device, channel, alarm, radar. You can filter all this. You can change the layout. Either now you want to see satellite map, you can also switch directly and see. So this is on the outdoor map. For indoor map, I'll come back here to map, and then you can select add a map. Then you can upload the indoor plan, either as PNG, JPG or JPEG, and then now with that plan you can use to position your cameras and all that. So that is another application case. But let's think of it in the business sense, that you want to offer a cloud hosting service to a client. For some clients, you may just give them this DSS client, because DSS client supports 50 online users and total of 200 users. So you can create the different roles. And how do you do that? I come to configuration. We have user. So under user, we have, you can create a role. For example, I only want you to see the first role is, let me say customer. Let's say a customer who is paying for 4 cameras. So I just name that. The role type, I'll select operator, and then I select the different cameras. For example, if it's just these Swift cameras, I go to the control permissions. They can play back, and they can do these other small controls. So you can select which controls. Then the application, can they configure the storage? I don't think, maybe not, because you're just offering them as a service. So they can access the monitoring center, maybe the event center and Deep Explore, mainly for the purposes of viewing. So you give them that access. Then you can give them like whichever the permissions you want. So once you do that, now we have a customer for role. Then now you come to user management. Remember, you can add up to 200 users. So let me add a user called Swift. Then you can enable multi-client if you want them to log in from multiple instances. But remember, if they log in from multiple clients, it will mean you're consuming more resources on your server. So you have to do that control. If they log into multiple clients, of course, maybe the payment would vary. So that's another point of concern. Then we have the password, a point where you create the default password for this user. Then MPTs for the body camera, if your user has the body camera. If they don't, then you just leave it. Enabled forced password change as first login. I would recommend this so that when the user logs in, they create their own private password. Then the change interval you can set between 1 day and 1 year. Then the password expiry time, you can also enable it and set the expiry of the password. Based on, let's say, the user subscription, you can use this, you can exploit this. Maybe after 1 month the password expires, so that they have to maybe resubscribe and get another login. The user group, you can select your own group. You can create different user groups. Then you enter the user's email address. Actually, I would recommend so you enter the user's email address. Then you add any other comments that you would want. To bind MAC address means you're locking it to a specific MAC address on a physical machine, so it could be a computer or a laptop. You can also bind that. Those are just security controls for the users. Then now the permission, you just select the one you created, let's say for the customer, and then you'll see it will only select that menu. So if this customer logs in right now, they will only access the specific menu. So that's how you control the users. Then you also need to think, if you are doing storage solution, then we have this storage menu here, which means you're controlling your hard disk storage, your server storage, and all that. So when you're doing that, you come to storage, and then we have network disk. If you have external disk, of course you can add a disk to DSS by iSCSI. So you add to the default server, which is this, then you enter the network disk IP, then you can add by normal mode or user mode. Of course, normal mode is not secure because the disk is not encrypted, but user mode means you enter the username and password of that disk. So you can add that, and then you have your disk formatted for video or incident files or audio or for event files. Then you have the server disk. The server disk, you can have your partitions on that specific server and then configure maybe images and files. You can also configure the video disk. You can also configure the incident files, so that variation. Then we have the grouping of disks. So you can set specific disks to store for specific customers. So in this case, like in my case, I have D. I can select D, E, F to store for specific channels. You select even the cameras or the channels that you would want to select. So you can group disks. Then we have device storage configuration. So this is managing the storage on the actual device, like save to central storage, link videos on device. You can also link, so that actually if you save to central storage and link videos on the device, it means the retrieval is much faster, because if it's not saved on central storage, it automatically goes to the device storage. So once you have this, then you have configured your storage requirement as per the initial parameters. So that's a quick introduction to the configuration of the user storage and storage plan. Also the map, maybe we can have even events as an add-on function benefit. For example, allow monitoring things like tripwire intrusion for the clients. So I go back to monitoring center. You can highlight what is monitoring center, event center, and deep explore. And I'll just like to highlight because with deep explore, let's say a customer has things like face recognition, human detection, we can filter and do a feature search. I want to stop recording because I want to pull this feature search, but in future we'll do. So I'll just stop my recording first.